Oh,
What's your favorite kind of chips?
hold on.
Oh, never mind.
I actually have one that I'm surprised we haven't talked about. I feel like Deuce. Actually, I don't know if I know Deuce. What was your first guitar ever? I don't think we've talked about this, have we?
I don't think so. I know.
Well, mine was the Squire. Well, I guess I started on an acoustic actually, just like
I feel like everyone starts on an acoustic,
I mean,
which I don't get because acoustic is genuinely harder to play than electric. Like I feel like it makes more sense to start on electric.
Well, acoustic like built my calluses a lot faster for sure.
Yeah,
so when I went over to electric,
100%.
it felt like baby mode, in terms of just like
playing on
fingers hurting.
a butter stick. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mine was actually the exact same Squire as Dew's, but like the little kid version.
Nice. Oh, Pog. How many frets did that thing have?
I still think it had 21, but they were just tiny. Because it's meant for like kids with little ass hands. Because the first time I got a guitar, I was probably like, I don't know, I was probably like 9, and I didn't even want to play guitar. My dad just bought it for me because he liked guitar, and I went to like 3 guitar practices, and I was like, this is fucking stupid, and I never played it again. But I still have the little guitar. So I guess that was my first guitar, technically speaking.
Mine was this right here. It's called A Lion by Washburn, and it was like a guitar kit that I got from Walmart.
Oh, one of those, like the first act kit in the cardboard box.
Just basic strap body.
Yeah, it came with like a little amp and like picks and a strap, and
yeah,
that thing was fucking terrible.
What was your soup?
Mine was an ESP LTD MH10.
Ooh, that's like the lowest of the low.
Yeah, it's like a really, really low-end ESP, like LTD guitar.
Oh, yeah, I see. Wow, that is $150 on Amazon.
But, to be fair, it actually isn't that bad of a guitar.
I was going to say, that seems like that's definitely the best out of all of ours. Starting.
Yeah, like ESP, even their lowest-end stuff is really, really good. At least in my opinion. It just holds up well over time, I feel like.
Yeah,
so there you go, kids. You don't need expensive gear to get started.
Unless you're...
Correct.
MH10, those are pretty basic.
Or your dad is Jeff Bezos. And then you can probably get away with that.
Well, I can't really blame my parents for getting me that one, because, I mean, they're not going to go out and spend like $1,000 on a guitar when they don't know how to play it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. No, there's no reason.
I just see people in the comments sometimes who are like, oh, well, I just don't have the money, or I can't get all the gear to start. Like, you can literally start on a first act. You just got to start playing.
You don't even need an amp. If you have like a PC, there are ways to plug your guitar into your PC and just emulate fucking amps.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's super. I feel like back in the day, that was like a good excuse of like music gear was expensive, because back in the day, you like actually needed an amp and you needed all the gear in order to do anything. But like, it's so much cheaper nowadays. And like, brands like Squire, they're actually genuinely good now. Like, since online reviewing became a thing, they can't put shitty products out because they'll just get review bombed. Like, even cheap-ass Squires are pretty damn solid nowadays. So, like, if you just ignore the name on the headstock, there was so much good cheap gear. So
the only reason I would never suggest a Squire to somebody is because of the single coil pickups and just how noisy they are.
They are noisy, but
yeah, they are.
But for someone that doesn't know how to play,
but the thing is, you're gonna when you first have a guitar, you're hearing that, and you're hearing all that noise, and that it doesn't sound like what you want to sound like. Like, that was my problem, is when I first got a guitar and stuff. The sound that I was playing out of my guitar sounded absolutely nothing like the music that I wanted to be able to sound like. So when your first guitar, you plug it in and it just goes just constantly, it's gonna discourage you, because you're like, this sounds fucking
most
terrible.
people probably aren't starting with distortion either. Like, I didn't have a distortion pedal when I first started. I just went straight into my little
I had a Marshall practice amp that had a
knob on. I just turned all the way up.
Same.
Yeah,
I just
same.
cranked that shit. But like, the thing is, you could also say that about shitty humbuckers. Is if you have shitty humbuckers, those things sound muddy as fuck with gain if they're really bad.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of like learning on something, and then it's super satisfying when you build your way up to something you know that's actually a solid piece of gear. I don't know. I've never been one to always tell people to start on the best gear ever. I just think you should start on something
Don't start on the worst
you enjoy.
possible.
No, never the worst possible.
Go to
Just
Guitar
something
Center,
that you
try
want
some
to pick
shit out.
up.
I would recommend starting on an acoustic.
Nah,
personally.
fuck that.
You don't think
There's
so?
nothing wrong with starting on acoustic,
They're just
bro.
the acoustics is just like, I mean, it's good to build dexterity, but like, I feel like starting on that is just, it's another thing for people to get discouraged about.
It depends what you want to play too, because if you can't play the
Yeah, I guess
music
that
you
is
want to
true.
play, then like if you want to play Metallica and you want to learn Metallica songs, because there are a ton of Metallica songs that like beginners could learn realistically, but like
Yeah.
they won't be able to play that on an acoustic, so it'll discourage them from
yeah.
picking it up. So that's the only reason I wouldn't say go for an acoustic, but I would just say go for whatever genre you want to play and whatever guitar you look at and go, I want to pick that up like 10 times a day and just do random shit on it, then like that's the right one. I don't think
Just
there's like a set
knowing,
price.
I say from knowing what I know now about guitar, I wish I would have started on like a nylon string acoustic and learned like classical music. And
Yeah.
gotten really good at like finger picking, and then worked my way into like metal, because it would have been so much easier to transfer over from that, because it'd be like, wow, okay, I'm just chugging a fucking E
Well, yeah,
string.
yeah. Once you
You
learn
know?
classical,
Like-
every genre is baby shit. So
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wish I would have started with like classical hard ass finger picking, like trying to figure all that kind of stuff out first.
dude, classical musicians
Basically,
are
like
fucking
the
insane.
movie Crossroads.
I haven't seen that, so I can't. Yeah,
I haven't seen that movie.
is that Eric
That's Steve
Clapton?
Vai.
Doesn't
You
he?
know the song from you know the song from Crossroads, but you haven't seen it.
Yep.
Oh, is it a Steve Vai thing?
It is a Steve
Well,
Vai.
Steve Vai's
that's-
in it, but it's not.
That's
it's,
also
it's
that's
a kid,
also an Eric Clapton thing. Crossroads. I think
It's
he
the
does a
kid from
tour.
fucking
Right.
It's the kid from Karate Kid. What's his name?
A kid. He also does guitar. Karate Kid.
Yeah, he's a really talented dude.
Karate guitar kid.
Well, the
Dude, you
kid
gotta
from
learn
Karate Kid is
karate.
in the movie Crossroads.
Doing karate on Omegle.
I took
So much
karate
less
classes.
cool. Just kicking the fuck out of a watermelon on Omegle.
Chopping a block in half with your hand on Omegle.
Doing katas on Omegle.